So I just wanted to squeeze the video in. Um, been working on some movie stuff today, but I wanted to go through a genre just quickly. While I still have my voice, apparently. And that genre is detective stories. Now, it's easy to just assume that a detective story is a mystery, that it's the mystery genre. But in fact, although the mystery is theoretically at the core of a detective story, it is not the whole thing. A detective story is usually more of a mixture with the mystery at its core, but the mystery alone is rarely enough for a detective story. A pure mystery is a fairly solitary and intellectual affair. It's almost academic. It's just studying facts. The most common examples of mystery stories I have seen are in fact more in the ballpark of H.P. Lovecraft, when it's low on horror and bigger on mystery. But that's a whole different deal. The detective story has a mystery at its core, yes, but surrounding that is a lot of, I'm not going to call it fluff, but a purist might call it fluff. There is a lot more meat on the bones. The skeleton of a detective story is a mystery. That's the core of it. But the meat on the bones is usually not a mystery. That's usually action, especially if it's in movie or in video games, or drama, which can be any medium. And there is often a lot of intrigue added to the mystery. The mystery itself is going out, finding the pieces that make the puzzle fit together. But the intrigue is usually a lot of stuff that explains why people are acting the way they do, personality clashes, especially backstory between characters and places and the like. All the stuff that I went through in the intrigue videos, that comes out, and some of it has to do with the mystery, but some of it is just there to explain why people act the way they do. Not the motive of the mystery, just describing personality. It's not exactly exposition, but it's in that direction. It's storytelling that surrounds the central mystery, but it's not just revealing a mystery. Just revealing a mystery is too academic for a detective story. Um, Action, drama, those usually sort of fill it up, as does exposition, actual exposition of world building. The old guided tour through the world that has been built for the story, or that is being used for the story. If the detective story is set in good old England, then there's a lot of good old English customs and architecture and history and all that kind of stuff, likely. If it's a detective noir story, then there's a lot of observation about the cold and hard and violent inner city life. If it's, what others do we have? If it's a supernatural history mystery, if it's a supernatural detective story, my words. If it's a supernatural detective story, then there's likely going to be lore about the supernatural aspects of it, the history of a ghost, or the quote unquote mechanics of whatever magic or supernatural entity is involved. But the mystery just forms the core of a detective story. There is muscle on there's meat on the bones. At least there is when detective stories are done, in my humble opinion, right. Hmm. Videos are getting shorter and shorter.